and so on. It is not exactly rocket science, and a lot of this is just, playing around and having fun. And that's kind of, like a lot of the origin of percussive music around the world is, people just playing, having fun, and communicating through rhythms. So don't take it too seriously. Play around, try to just like, whack in some different notes here and there. Suddenly you come up with something cool. So now let's just move on to something that's going to take this to a whole new level, which is the concept of layering. Because as you have seen, I've only used one track so far, low drum layer. So now, what I've done now is I've taken this, I've put it here, and I've just like, duplicated the exact same thing here, and the exact same thing here, only that I took away the little beats in between, because the high layer is better kind of when you have something very simple. So let's listen to that. Sounds way better. Let me just take away the two other layers in the first half, just so you can see the difference of layers and no layers. Now I've done it quite simple here, because when you're layering, you need to have certain parts that play the low role of being the body, and then you have the mid layer, which can be a little bit different. That's more in the mid range, and then the high layer, which is like the piercing kind of high percussive layer that just keeps things driving. Let's listen to the difference. Sounds a lot more epic already. So that's the power of layering, guys. And the thing is that when you layer, you have to layer with purpose. And that's why I have one layer for low, mid, and high. I encourage that you do the same. So the layers that's on the high is just, a snare, tambourine, and stick. And for the mids, I have some toms. And then for the lows, it's the same as I showed you before. So they all fulfill a very specific role in the sonic kind of spectrum here. And that's really important, because if you layer too many low elements, it's all going to kind of fall apart. There's going to be too many conflicting frequencies fighting each other, and you're going to lose all of the punchy, groovy feel that you like once had. All right, let's take this to the next level once again. Now what I've done here is that I've taken the same thing, I just simplified this to took away the 16th notes in between. The only thing I did here is that instead of having the accents the same spots as on the low drum, I changed the spot where the accents fall. So before, the mid drum was playing exactly the same as the low. But now they're playing the same rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the same eighth notes, but the accents are on different beats. Listen. And when those two are played together, you get a very interesting effect. It starts to soundly be a bit more groovy. It's a little bit more interesting. And then when I add in the high element as well, which is just playing, straightforward 8 notes. We see this one too. The accents are on different spots than the low layer. So these are still playing the same da 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 rhythm, but the accents that I've chosen to, fix with the velocity are falling on different spots. So that's going to give you another really cool effect. And you can change this to anything as well. I can take it, do like that. this one down, maybe have it up here, this one down, this one up, one down. You get the idea. There's no like formula or anything or some secrets behind this. It's just about experimenting. That's a different groove. And we can play around with this one too. Just, you know, up, this one down, these ones up, and suddenly it sounds different. So play around with the accents after you've layered it as well and try to put them in different spots. It's going to give you a different feel. Now again, we're going to take it one more step further. And that is, instead of just having everyone playing the same kind of pace and rhythm, we're going to have them play different rhythms. We're going to keep the low drum the same. But what I did with the mid layer is that I played something different. That sounds like this. And the high one is now twice the speed. Together, when we have the layering, we have different rhythms, different accents. It sounds like this. And this is 3 layers, guys. This is not rocket science. I haven't done any crazy production. This is just these 3 layers and working with very specific and very basic fundamental kind of principles of rhythm to make something really cool. And now when you have all these little, you know, kind of building blocks, you can say, you can take the high one and build a little arrangement out of it. So we take this for once, then we get into this, then maybe at the end we get to that. And for the mid layer, we can start with that one here, and then maybe it gets more advanced here, and then going like that. And this one can come in, well, we can start with a simpler one actually, the one we did here with only the basic velocity. And can take one of these ones, or actually beat thing, and we just get to this part. We just like piece this together, and suddenly you have this evolving rhythmic arrangement. Let's listen. Alright everyone, those are my 4 most fundamental tips and techniques for writing percussion grooves. Even if you have just one library like this one, these are very specific and simple techniques you can use. So let's recap. We started with like the most basic of basic rhythms. I'm just going to try to recreate that. Just resetting the velocities. We started with this. We changed the velocity of all the hits and accentuated the first ones of every measure. Then we changed where these accents fell. So it sounds like this. Then we added in a couple of extra 16th notes to, you know, drive it a bit more forward. Then we layered the same rhythm with the mid and high layer. Then we changed the accents of each layer but keeping the rhythm the same. And then we change the rhythm of each layer so they're different. And making it even more unique, percussive, and interesting. And combining all these different elements, we have a tiny little percussion arrangement. Enjoy. Hope that was helpful.